Facebook, other
Mm-hmm.
games, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not really a big issue. That's right. A big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring this morning's Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful day out there. The snow was such a blessing. And a big thank you to our Payson Streets Department and Gila County road crews for keeping those roads clear for us. If you're at work, hopefully have a good day. Safe drive home as well. And if you're staying home today, well, enjoy the day off, the day home with the kiddos. Hey, well, speaking of kiddos, there's an exciting event coming up here in Rim Country called Rim Country Baseball Camp. And this morning on our Community Spotlight, we have the gentleman that is behind this camp, former Major League Baseball player, Michael Price. Good morning, Michael. How are you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Doing very, very well.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on our program this morning.
My pleasure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And for those of you that follow us on Facebook, hopefully you're watching on our KRIM FM Facebook page or our YouTube channel because we are live streaming the program. But we're going to learn more about this Rim Country Baseball Camp, what it involves. But first, Michael, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career in baseball?
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Chris. I started out in baseball with a Major League Baseball career at the age of 17 years of age. I graduated high school at 17 and a half. And during that summer, I played on the Upland American Legion team who won the national championship. We were the #1 team in the entire nation.
Wow.
And just being 17 years old, that's pretty exciting, right?
Oh, yes.
And it was a lot of fun. We had traveled all over the nation, all over the country playing baseball. And when we won the whole thing, there was a big hoop-de-doo at our hometown. We flew into Ontario Airport in Ontario, California, and we were awarded these really nice gold jackets, and there was a big parade, and everything was really, really cool, really fun.
Wow. Yeah.
So after winning that, I was approached by 3 different organizations to sign a professional contract. And because the Dodgers were one of them, and the Dodgers being a home team, I decided to sign with the Dodgers. So I was still 17 and a half years old, so I couldn't legally sign a contract. So my parents had to sign the contract for me.
Wow.
So I signed the contract at 17 and a half, and then by the time I went to spring training in 1965, I was then 18 years old. So that was an interesting amateur career.
Saw a picture on the Rim Country Baseball Facebook page. Great picture. I believe you in your Dodgers uniform with Raleigh Fingers.
With Raleigh Fingers, yes.
Yeah.
Raleigh Fingers, myself, and a guy by the name of Steve Coker, who wound up signing a contract, a professional baseball contract with the White Sox.
Okay.
And then, as you know, Raleigh Fingers went on to have a really long career with, turned out to be the Oakland Athletics at that particular time.
Yeah, that was a fun picture. Looking at that. So then, after playing baseball, you went on to coaching, didn't you?
Yes, I played baseball for 10 years. And I played with the Dodger organization, the Angel organization, the Cub organization, and I actually spent a year playing in the Mexican big leagues in a town called Reynosa, which is right across the border from McAllen, Texas. I spent a year there, and I have kind of a couple of interesting stories if you're interested in hearing about it.
Oh, yes.
Well, when I was in Mexico, we played in a field, a baseball field, and I actually don't remember the town. I don't want to misrepresent, but there was a town where we played, and running from the right field fence to the left field fence was a railroad track. And while we were playing baseball, they had to stop the game, open up this giant gate in right field and this giant gate in left field, and this train comes chugging through the baseball field. And then after it went through, they closed up the gates and we resumed the game. And I thought, you have got to be kidding me.
So there were literally baseball tracks in the outfield.
Yeah, train tracks, train tracks running in
Train
the
tracks,
outfield from right to left. Yes,
Train tracks.
it was really funny.
Oh my gosh, that wow, that would be interesting for the outfielders jumping train tracks.
Yes, yeah, a little dangerous there. Yeah.
I guess you do what you have to do.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some places.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever land is available, I guess. And then there was one town where I went to warm up as a relief pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
and the warm-up mound was right next to the stands. And there wasn't a very high fence dividing the pitcher's mound from the stands. And as I was warming up, people started throwing oranges at me.
Oh no!
And so, part of my warm-up drill was to pick up the oranges and throw it back at them. So it was
Yeah, that warms your arm up.
there you go.
As
There you
well.
go. So it was kind of fun.
Wow.
So I played for 10 years, and
Uh-huh.
then I moved on to a different career.
Uh-huh.
I was a police officer for about 16 years.
Oh, okay.
And then I finally decided that I wanted to coach baseball, and I started calling around to various colleges and universities to volunteer my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to connect with Pomona Pitzer, which is one of the West Coast Ivy League schools,
Mm-hmm.
and connected with the coach there, Paul Svagdis. People, if they're interested in that, they can see a short video of him on the rimcountrybaseball.com.
Okay.
He did a short promo video for us.
Hmm.
And Paul and I coached together for 20 years. We moved from Pomona Pitzer to Azusa Pacific University. However, with Pomona Pitzer, my second year with him, I asked Paul, I said, we should start doing some goal setting so that we can develop this team into a real viable winning team.
Mm-hmm.
So that second year at Pomona Pitzer, we started a goal-setting process involving not only the coaches but also the seniors on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And after the process was completed and the season ended, that team went to the next level of playoffs for the first time in 43 years.
Wow.
And that's where I first started developing my fearless thinking process.
Mm-hmm.
It was all rattling around inside of my head,
Mm-hmm.
but then to get it to come out of your mouth and get it on paper and make it understandable
Mm-hmm.
is a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the actual first step in developing that program. And obviously it was quite successful, having the team go to the first round of playoffs for the first time in 43 years.
43 years.
Right.
Wow.
And then Paula and I went to Azusa Pacific University,
Mm-hmm.
and anytime you move from one university to another university, you are accepting the current ball players, the current staff there, not the coaching staff, but the current ball player staff.
Yes.
And they've been recruited by the previous
Coaches.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So
Wow.
that first year was a little shaky around the edges.
Yeah.
But then that second year, I said to Paul, we ought to set up some goal-setting sessions. And he and I talked a little bit about it, and we decided within 5 years
Uh-huh.
we would go to the World Series.
Oh, wow.
And so we started through that process, and once
Uh-huh.
again, a fearless thinking process, goal-setting process, leadership process. And we wound up 5 years. We went to the World Series. We lost in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year we went back to the World Series. Again, lost in the semifinals. But the point is, I spent 20 years at the college level.
Mm-hmm. Coaching and the fearless thinking. It's very interesting that we're talking about this today, because I know talking with one of our high school coaches, you need to talk with him. You guys need to get together, because that's what he is brought into. It's with the boys basketball program, Coach Robert Mavis. But the mentality of, you belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You belong here. Don't be intimidated by anyone out there. any
Mhm.
other teams,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're just as good, and
Mhm.
you belong here. So I think that's probably, it sounds like, a component or part of what you're teaching.
Yes, part of the Fearless Thinking program. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book called Fearless Thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and there are 13 chapters in it, and also developed a Fearless Thinking program that we took to various organizations, large companies, associations, schools, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
we did that for about 16 years in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't done it since we've moved here. We haven't marketed the program, but the Fearless Thinking program is really about what's going on inside of your head,
Mm-hmm.
and how does that affect your emotions, and how does it affect your behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing that into the sports arena, as you know, baseball is really a mental game. It's played physically, obviously, but it's a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do when you fail most of the time? What happens inside of your head? What are your thoughts when you're failing most of the time? Because as you well know, if you're hitting 300, if you're batting 300, you're having
Mm-hmm.
a pretty successful career.
Mm-hmm.
But that means you failed 7 other times,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
what do you do with that in your head when you have failed 7 times? So the program is really about that, about what's going on inside of your head. Where do you put your focus when you need to perform?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you put your focus when you don't perform well?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you'll notice, especially sports that are played outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
the kids can get caught up in the weather, in the wind, and all that kind of stuff, and say, oh, I don't want to play in this, woe is me, woe is me. But you don't have any control over that. So part of the program is teaching the kids, what do you have control over, and what do you not have control over,
Mm-hmm.
and how do we perform to the best of our ability.
Mm-hmm. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of the program, again, we're focusing on this Rim Country Baseball Camp that happens Saturday, April 2nd, and this is for all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so getting the younger players and teaching not only skills, baseball skills, but going into the fearless thinking mental skills as well.
Yes, we want to teach the young kids that are coming into high school. We
Mhm.
want to teach them the fundamentals so that when they get to high school, we can teach them the finer points of the game and not have to really focus on the fundamentals because they would already have them.
Mhm.
But we also want to develop in them the ability to focus on what it is that will help them be a better ball player, and teach them to have resilience when things don't go their way immediately.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to develop some leadership skills, and all of this is going to take place on Saturday, April 2nd. We're going to mix in some of the fearless thinking information I just mentioned, along with teaching them the skills.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the proceeds are going specifically to the high school baseball program.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going into the school's general fund.
Mm-hmm.
So this is specifically for baseball.
For the baseball program.
Right.
And there's more information about Rim Country Baseball Camp and all of the pricing on the website rimcountrybaseball.com.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you don't mind, I would like to mention that the sponsors, we have some really wonderful sponsors that were really forthcoming once we
Mhm.
told them what the purpose
Mhm.
of this particular camp was. Not only to have fun, for the kids to have fun, but
Mhm.
also to learn fundamental skills. Pizza Factory is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Access Culture Group is another. Be Well Chiropractic, Chapman Auto Center, Arizona Wildflowers and Gifts, Pinion Cafe, Payson Orthodontics, Anita Waller, who is an isogenics distributor,
Mm-hmm.
and will have not refreshments, but what do you call that?
Samples.
She'll have samples there, but the kids will get hydrate
Oh, okay.
type of drink.
Oh, okay. Hydration drink.
Donated by her,
Oh, okay.
and also the Alpine Family Dentistry. So those are our sponsors, and they were really forthcoming.
It's we have wonderful businesses, as you've probably found out
Mm-hmm.
from this process. wonderful businesses in this community that are very supportive of our youth
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
youth programs.
mm-hmm. Yes, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it is great to see that support from those businesses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also involved in the camp is the head coach at the high school, Brian Young,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Joe Perone, and a couple of the other coaches who have full-time businesses say they want to be there. We're just not sure of the commitment yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some of our ball players that are going to be involved with it too,
Gotcha.
to help teach them some communication skills and to help them to learn some leadership skills as well.
Mm-hmm. I would joke. I kind of told a few people, just joking around. Joe Perone, he's from Philly. He's a
Mm-hmm.
Philly guy, and I'm from just north of Philadelphia. So I would joke with people and tell them that Joe was the Philly fanatic for a few years. He was the mascot. He was the guy in the costume. A lot of people didn't know who the Philly fanatic was, but those that did, really? No, just joking.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it would have been great if somebody went back to him and said, "Hey, I heard you were the Philly fanatic. That's really cool."
Yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah, he's a good guy, and Brian Young, doing great things with the program. All the assistant coaches as well. They really put a lot of effort, time into the program and into the boys.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the camp on Saturday, April 2nd,
Mm-hmm.
when we set that date, didn't realize that would be the opening day for the Little League.
Little League as well.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
which
true.
is our prime age group, right?
Yeah,
Within that
yeah.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade age group. But I understand from somebody that's associated with the Little League that the 6th graders, maybe even the 7th graders, their games are going to be later in the day, so they could attend the camp and
Okay.
then go to their ball game later in the afternoon.
Hmm.
The camp is going to be over by 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And so that would give them some time to get home and get some food and then
Yeah.
show up to their other ball game.
No, that sounds great. Again, this is Rim Country Baseball Camp we're talking about, taking place Saturday, April 2nd. Michael Price, former Major League Baseball player, organizing this, putting this together, and he, along with others, you have others that will be showing skills and doing some of this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll be doing some base running skills,
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed that that's a skill that's kind of lacking, and we really need to teach that. Base running skills. There'll be infielding skills,
Mm-hmm.
outfielding skills. We're going to teach the youngsters how to slide,
Mm.
so they don't get injured, when they're
Yes.
playing in their little league games and whatnot. And we also have 3 stations that we're going to be doing some hitting and teaching them the proper mechanics for hitting a baseball to
Mm.
give them the best chance to succeed in their baseball career.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And more information and also pricing is on rimcountrybaseball.com. And your book, Fearless Thinking. How can people get your book?
Actually, if they would like to, they could just give me a call.
Okay.
And let me give you a landline. We noticed where we live that our cell phones don't work very well. We don't get a very good cell signal.
Uh-huh.
So let me give you a landline, and they can just leave a message saying that they're interested in the book, and I can give them a call back.
Okay.
It's 928-474-4961. 928-474-4961.
Oh, great. And again, really want to thank and a shout out to all of the sponsors for this program.
Absolutely.
This camp.
Absolutely.
It is great that they stepped up to support this effort, and I think this should be a great annual thing now that you're going to start.
Yes, we're planning on making it annual.
Mhm.
The first year there's a lot of details to work out, but we're planning on making this an annual event so that the subsequent younger kids,
Mhm.
subsequent generations can learn the fundamentals before they get into high school.
So I guess if there are businesses, owners listening that would like to become a sponsor, they could give you a call as
Absolutely.
well, or message you on the there's a Facebook page, Rim Country Baseball,
Absolutely.
or through the website.
Absolutely. And next year we're working on a way to involve the sponsors if they want to be involved.
Oh, nice.
So you give them a little bit of hands-on experience if you understand what I mean. And would you mind if I mention the sponsors again?
Oh no, we'd love it. We'd love that.
Pizza Factory, Axis Culture Group, Be Well Chiropractic, Chapman Auto Center, Arizona Wildflowers and Gifts, Pinion Cafe, Payson Orthodontics, Anita Waller, the Isogenics distributor, Alpine Family Dentistry.
Wow, that is great.
Yeah. We really love our sponsors.
Yes. Well, Michael, thank you so much for coming on the Community Spotlight this morning.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. My pleasure, Chris. Thank you.
And we will keep getting this information out over the air and also on our Facebook page. So we encourage you to get your young baseball players, again, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, signed up for Rim Country Baseball Camp taking place Saturday, April 2nd. And that starts at what time, Michael?
Starts at 8:30 registration, and then 9 o'clock we'll start the instruction. And it'll end up at 3 o'clock. And the last 45 minutes to an hour of the camp will be a baseball game amongst all of the campers.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun for them.
It's always fun. Well, again, thank you, Michael, and thank you, everyone, for listening this morning. Big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. Now let's get back to the music with some Creedence Clearwater Revival, Jim Croce, REM, and Genesis. But first, an update from the National Weather Service.
Forecast for Payson and surrounding areas.
All right,
Good.
and we're good, and I will shut this off. Goodbye, everyone.